Welcome to the Rustic Planters, where timeless garden charm meets practical outdoor inspiration. Today, we are stepping behind the walls of the classic Victorian walled garden to discover how enclosed spaces can become private sanctuaries filled with romance, character, and enduring beauty. If you love gardens that feel collected, peaceful, and wonderfully old-world, this journey is for you. Before we begin, subscribe to the Rustic Planters, like this video, and share your favorite garden. Victorian walled gardens were designed with more than beauty in mind. Their sturdy walls created shelter, defined distinct spaces, and transformed ordinary outdoor areas into intimate landscapes with a strong sense of identity. Even a modern garden can borrow these principles through boundaries, layered planting, structured pathways, and carefully chosen architectural details. The secret is not simply recreating a historical garden, but understanding why these spaces feel so timeless. By combining enclosure, symmetry, abundant planting, vintage materials, and thoughtful transitions, you can create an outdoor retreat that feels established rather than newly assembled. Let us explore the details that make the Victorian walled garden such an enduring source of inspiration. The defining feature of a Victorian walled garden is its sense of enclosure. Brick, stone, rendered masonry, or even carefully designed fencing can establish a clear boundary while giving the garden a distinct architectural character. Instead of allowing the landscape to disappear into its surroundings, the walls make the garden feel like its own private world. For smaller gardens, complete masonry walls are not always necessary. A combination of low brickwork, climbing plants, timber screens, trellises, and evergreen hedging can create a similar feeling of privacy. The goal is to frame the garden without making it feel cramped, using height and texture to establish intimacy while preserving a comfortable sense of openness. Consider varying the height and texture of your boundaries to create visual interest. A weathered brick wall paired with climbing roses, espaliered fruit trees, or soft herbaceous planting can immediately suggest the character of an established Victorian garden. These boundaries become more than practical features. They form the backdrop against which every other garden detail can shine. Materials play an essential role in giving a walled garden its historic personality. Aged brick is particularly effective because its irregular surfaces, softened edges, and earthy tones create the impression of a garden that has evolved naturally over generations. Stone paving, reclaimed brick edging, and weathered masonry can reinforce that sense of permanence. When choosing materials, avoid making every surface look perfectly new. Victorian-inspired gardens benefit from subtle imperfections and variations in texture. Reclaimed materials, aged terracotta pots, worn stone troughs, and rustic wooden elements can introduce the gentle patina that makes a garden feel authentic and comfortably lived in. You can also use materials to visually connect separate parts of the garden. Repeat the same brick tone along pathways, raised beds, walls, and edging, then introduce stone or timber as complementary accents. This repetition creates cohesion while allowing the garden to develop layers of texture and character. Victorian gardens often balanced natural abundance with strong geometry. Straight paths, rectangular planting beds, repeated borders, and carefully positioned focal points create a framework that keeps even a lush garden from feeling chaotic. Structure gives the eye somewhere to travel and makes the surrounding planting feel more intentional. A central pathway can become the organizing feature of the entire garden. From there, smaller paths can divide the space into distinct rooms for flowers, herbs, vegetables, fruit trees, or quiet seating areas. Even if your garden is modest in size, simple geometric divisions can make it feel more substantial and thoughtfully planned. The key is to let structure and softness work together. Crisp brick edges can sit beside overflowing flowers, while formal pathways can lead toward relaxed planting. This contrast between order and abundance is one of the most appealing characteristics of the Victorian garden tradition, creating elegance without sacrificing natural charm. One of the most enchanting Victorian garden secrets is the use of separate outdoor rooms. Instead of revealing the entire landscape at once, paths can curve around planting, walls can conceal small corners, and gates or arches can create transitions between different areas. Each space offers a new discovery while maintaining the overall harmony of the garden. A small garden room might contain a weathered bench surrounded by fragrant plants, while another could become a productive kitchen garden filled with herbs and vegetables. A narrow passage lined with climbing plants can lead toward a secluded courtyard, creating the feeling of moving through several gardens rather than one continuous space. These rooms are especially useful when privacy is important. Instead of relying solely on tall screening, layers of planting and architectural features can obscure direct views and create cozy destinations. The result is a garden that encourages slow exploration, where every corner feels like a private little sanctuary. Plant selection is where a Victorian walled garden truly comes alive. Traditional favorites such as roses, lavender, foxgloves, delphiniums, hollyhocks, peonies, and climbing vines can bring a generous cottage garden quality to the structured setting. Their varied heights and forms create depth, while softening the hard edges of walls and pathways. Productive plants can be incorporated just as beautifully. Fruit trees trained against walls, espaliered apples, pears, currants, herbs, and seasonal vegetables reflect the practical origins of many historic walled gardens. Combining ornamental and edible planting allows the garden to be both decorative and useful. Think in layers rather than isolated specimens. Tall climbers and trained fruit trees can occupy the vertical space. Flowering perennials can fill the middle level, and low herbs or edging plants can define pathways. Repeating a few key varieties throughout the garden helps the planting feel abundant yet cohesive rather than random. Architectural accents can give a walled garden its most memorable moments. Arched gateways, wrought-style gates, timbered doors, pergolas, obelisks, and simple trellises create vertical interest while reinforcing the garden's enclosed character. Covered entrances can also provide a beautiful transition between one garden room and another. Vintage-inspired containers are another simple way to introduce historical charm. Terracotta pots, stone planters, galvanized tubs, reclaimed crates, and aged ceramic vessels can be grouped along walls or pathways. Their varied shapes and patinas make the garden feel collected over time rather than decorated all at once. Small details can have a surprisingly large impact. Old-fashioned garden tools displayed as decorative accents, weathered plaques, rustic water features, bird baths, and classic benches can contribute to the atmosphere without overwhelming the planting. The best details support the story of the garden while allowing nature to remain the main attraction. A timeless garden does not depend on following every historical detail. Instead, it relies on proportion, repetition, natural materials, and a restrained palette of textures. Choose features that can age gracefully and allow plants to soften edges and develop their own character over time. Privacy should also feel natural rather than fortress-like. Evergreen shrubs, climbing plants, hedges, trellises, and layered borders can create visual protection without turning the garden into a sealed enclosure. By combining several moderate-height elements, you can achieve seclusion while maintaining airflow, views, and a welcoming atmosphere. Most importantly, leave room for the garden to evolve. Victorian gardens were not frozen displays. They were productive, changing landscapes shaped by seasons and continual care. Allowing certain plants to self-seed, materials to weather, and borders to mature can give your outdoor space the wonderfully imperfect character that makes historic gardens so captivating. Creating a Victorian-inspired walled garden is ultimately about more than bricks, roses, and vintage accessories. It is about designing a space with boundaries, rhythm, texture, discovery, and a strong connection between architecture and nature. Whether you have a large backyard or a compact courtyard, these principles can help transform an ordinary outdoor area into a private retreat with timeless character. Thank you so much for joining the Rustic planters on this journey through the secrets of the Victorian walled garden. If you enjoyed these ideas, remember to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment telling us which Victorian garden feature you would most love.